Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, 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 confident. I can be confident at work.
Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning. And today we're talking about fear of being seen as not confident, fear of not looking confident. You know that quote that says the only thing we have to fear is fear itself? Well, in this case, one of the things that you have to fear is the fear itself. So the way this shows up for my clients and the way that it might be showing up for you is that you are worried that people can tell that you're just not feeling as confident, or you're worried that people can tell that you're feeling nervous. And that worry is ramping up the fear, is ramping up the nerves, and is making you feel less confident. So here's the loop, and it's a downward spiral. You feel nervous. Let's say you're going to be making a presentation. You feel nervous. Then you worry that people will see you as nervous, and that fear makes you even more self-conscious, which in turn ramps up the nerves, and so on and so on. So this might be you if you're like, I don't want people to see that I'm nervous. I don't want people to see that I'm not confident. I don't want people to see me going red. I don't want people to notice that my voice is shaking. So not only do you have to do the thing that you're nervous about, you also have to worry about the fact that you look nervous to other people. So it's no longer just about doing the thing. It's about managing how you look or worrying about how you're going to look while you do the thing. And people can really get in their head with this because it's threatening our sense of identity. Potentially we are wanting to be seen as capable. We want to be seen as professional. We want to be seen as in control. And the idea of being found out as having low confidence or feeling really nervous feels really exposing. It feels like somehow we're losing credibility. And the problem I see with this is the more senior we get, the worse this fear gets. Probably because you're more successful now, you're in a higher role, there's more people potentially looking at you or looking to you. So feeling nervous or looking underconfident creates even more of a risk as you see it. I'm not saying that risk is real, but it feels like more of a risk. It feels like more of an issue. Feels like something that you should have managed by now or got rid of. And therefore, it freaks you out even more. Could be to the point where it takes you completely offline, where you're now actually avoiding all these scenarios because you just cannot put yourself in the situation. You cannot take the risk of people knowing, of people seeing that you're not 100% confident or that you are feeling nervous in this particular setting. So why is this happening? Well, most of us will have stories in our heads about what it means to appear nervous or what it means to look like we're not 100% confident. And we might be thinking something like, if we're nervous or if we're not 100% confident, people will question our competence. They'll think we're not good enough. Maybe we think people are going to question our leadership. Should this person be leading me if they look nervous or they don't look as confident? Should they be managing this team, this department, this division? Should they be the CEO? You can see how when we get higher in our position, this can create even more of a problem. Some people will say, well, it's okay when you're junior, isn't it? You kind of expect somebody junior to be a bit nervous or a bit lower on confidence when they're speaking with seniors or when they're presenting. People kind of accept that. You don't think it makes them crap at their job. You just think, well, it's just one of those things. It'll come with time. It'll come with experience. But you don't have that excuse if you're more senior. You don't allow yourself that same room for having an emotion, for having a feeling, for being less confident. In your head, you might be very sure that you should be all of those things. It may even lead you to question, why are you in your role if you can't do those things? Should you be there if you're feeling less confident or feeling nervous about certain things? Surely at your level, you should be able to just breeze through everything like a corporate robot that always looks 100% competent, confident, and in control. Now, I'm being tongue in cheek, right? I'm hamming it up for the crowd. But this may be the stuff which is going on inside your head. And if it is, not only may you be feeling nervous or low confident in certain situations. But having all of these thoughts in your head about that fact will make you more nervous and will erode your confidence even further. So you can get yourself into a total spin. And I've seen examples with clients where that spin feels so great that it threatens to completely take them offline. And let me say this, you may be worried that that's what people are thinking, that you shouldn't be in the role unless you're 100% confident all of the time, that you should be able to make a perfect presentation and not be nervous, that if you're leading other people, you should be able to handle everything and handle it smoothly and calmly. And it may be that there are people in your organization that think that. Maybe. But the only person that we definitely know is thinking that is you. We know that you're thinking that. We know that you're questioning your competence, you're questioning your leadership, you're questioning whether you should be in the role and doubting yourself on that basis. We know that you're holding yourself to a standard of calm, in control, and perfectly confident the whole time. We know that you're giving yourself a hard time if you're not, and doubting yourself. And we know that you will be picking up on every single thing that didn't go right, or every single moment where you looked a tiny bit nervous, where maybe your voice shook or broke, where maybe you lost your footing or you lost your place, or maybe you went a little bit red, or maybe they could see that you were sweating. We know that you're going to be tearing yourself limb from limb afterwards because people might have noticed. But the person who's really noticed and is giving you a really hard time about it is you. And you may be the only one. You may not, but you may be. And we know that you are the most important one when it comes to how nervous you feel, how confident you feel. You're the one. And you may be saying, okay, but Anna, I actually am in a position where if this goes badly, it is going to reflect badly. People are going to doubt me. People are going to question my competence. Maybe I'd even get moved, sacked. Someone else is going to get a promotion. Okay. It could be that all of that is the case. I just need you to think really clearly and really carefully about whether that's actually true. And whilst you're giving yourself such a hard time for looking nervous or less than 100% confident, you're not going to be able to answer those questions clearly. You're not going to be able to separate fact from fiction. Are you actually going to get sacked? Or are people just going to shrug their shoulders and move on with their day? I don't know the answer. But I need you to know the answer clearly for you, because it may not be as bad as what you've been telling yourself. It may be that you can cut yourself just a little bit of slack. It may be that you can actually relax a little bit more than you think, that you can decrease some of that pressure that you've been experiencing. And trust me, when you're able to do that, you will feel less nervous. You will feel more confident. So how do we shift this? If the fear itself is what's creating the fear for you, if the thought of people perceiving you as less than 100% confident in every situation, or the worry of looking nervous in front of people is creating a load of extra pressure for you, how do you actually change it? And I've already started touching on it. I need you to be able to separate the fact from the fiction. I need you to see clearly what will actually be the result of people, for instance, seeing you go a bit red. What will actually be the impact of that? Well, are you going to lose your job? Are you going to lose the client? Or are people not going to think that much about it and then just move on with the day? You want to know that. And I also want you to think about this. I don't think for a minute, and I never have done, this is not the confidence that I preach, that it is the absence of fear, the absence of nerves, and that it has to be 100% in control all of the time. Because I don't think that's real. If you're coming to something that you care about and you are a human with emotions, which you all are, sometimes you are going to feel out of your depth. Sometimes you are going to feel out of your comfort zone. Sometimes you're going to feel nervous. Sometimes you're not going to feel 100% confident simply because you haven't practiced doing this thing 1,000,000 times. So maybe your competence isn't tied to you being 100% confident all of the time. Maybe that isn't actually required of you. Maybe you can go red and still be really competent. Maybe you can be a little bit nervous and that can be okay. Maybe you can allow others to see you being a little bit wobbly sometimes. Real confidence grows when we allow ourselves to be seen. And that might be a really hard thing for you to do. Don't want other people to know that you're nervous. You don't want people to know that you're walking with this stone in your shoe. Maybe if you've been in a low confidence cycle for a really long time, but you've managed to do what you've done, you've managed to get the promotion, you've managed to succeed, all of which probably because of your competence. And you've done a really good job of covering up the fact that you've got all of this stuff going on the inside. One, I commend you because I know that that will not have been an easy road. And it might have been filled with worry, it might have been filled with anxiety, and it might have been filled with having to kind of hide whilst you went ahead and did all those things. And I know that will have been tough because when I sit down with someone and they finally tell me everything that's been going on, they'll mostly say, I've never told that to anyone before. It's hard to let ourselves be seen. It's hard to tell the truth sometimes. This is what's actually going on for me inside here. And it ain't great all the time. It's not pretty. But what if it's really actually super fucking brave to let yourself be seen? What if that makes you a fucking legend? I think it does. To go and do the thing that you're doing even though you're scared. To put yourself out of your comfort zone even though you're nervous. To stand up even though you know your voice is going to shake. And maybe you're going to go red. And there you are anyway, stood up. Maybe the fact that you're going red and your voice is going to shake and it's going to break is evidence that you're a fucking legend, not evidence that you're not competent. That is my belief, and I'm going to hold it for you even if you can't hold it for yourself. I am a confidence coach and I get nervous. And I always tell this to people because I think that they assume that confidence means this 100% like paradise that we get to where we never feel anything again. And I just don't think that's the case, especially when we're right out of our comfort zone. We're going to feel some things. Yes, there is work that we can do to bring that down to manageable levels so that you can stay connected, so that you can stay online, so that you can stay doing what you're doing. But part of building that will be allowing yourself to be who and how you are and to accept that sometimes we do not have it all perfect. We do not have it all together. And we cannot maintain that facade 100% of the time. And that maybe if we're okay with that, maybe other people will be okay with it too. Imagine if somebody got up to do a presentation and they said, oh, do you know what? I'm nervous. I'm sweating under my arms and I might shake and I might lose my place and I might lose my words. But you know what? I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to carry on and I'm going to stay right beside myself and I'm going to be the support I need. I'm going to be the cheerleader that I need. And I might have to take a breath. And then when I've got to the end of this, I'm going to celebrate. And when it's over, I might ask you to celebrate with me because I'm building my capacity to do this thing that I'm doing right now. And I haven't always found this easy. And I still don't find this easy. And I'm guessing there's maybe many of you here that don't either. And you know what? Because you've told the truth, because you've let them see you, I reckon they'll celebrate with you and they will celebrate hard and they will be rooting for you every step of the way. No, I'm not saying that that's going to be appropriate in every setting. There will be a pitch where you're speaking to a client. There will be a moment where you're stood up in front of 500 executives. But there may be moments where you can do this practice, where you can build your capacity. And the way that you build your capacity, the way that you practice is to allow yourself little by little to be seen, to be a little bit vulnerable, and to stand strong by your side, and to know that that doesn't make you less than. It does not mean anything about your competence. All that it means is that you might be a bit nervous, or that you might not feel 100% confident about this thing. And what if that's okay? I hope this has been a useful episode. If you want to come and work with me, there are two ways you can do that. The first is in the Confident at Work membership. This is a group space, a group place where you're going to get coaching, you're going to get training, and you're going to get support, all aimed at helping you to feel more confident at work. The second is one-on-one private coaching with me, where we're going to look at all your challenges. We're going to look at all those moments where your confidence fails you, and we're going to work out how to help you feel more confident at work. We're going to increase your capacity and your comfort zone bit by bit by bit. And I'm going to be alongside you every step of the way. There are links in the show notes. Go ahead, click through, book a call, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, confident, confident.